My name is Renae Thomas. I was born deaf. My hearing loss was down between 3 to 5 years old. All my 3 brothers were all born deaf. All my 3 sisters are fine, they're normal hearing. I grew up in a hearing church. I always went with my parents, my mom and my sisters. There was no interpreter. There was no accessibility to help. The only thing that helped me get through church was my mom would be standing next to me, and I would have that missile book, and just tell me where we're at, because I wore a hearing aid. And so I would just follow along. If I get lost, Mom would point it out where we're at on the word. But over the years, I started to get lost, confused. It has been a real struggle in trying to understand what is Jesus. Most important of all, how can the deaf people, including myself, apply Jesus in our life? And so I pretty much was ready to drop church right there, because it's like, well, this church, don't offer this, that. Not just interpreting, but going deeper than just interpreting. And then my aunt told me about the one Father TJ was interpreting it through diagonal INT. The way he set up the math is that he was telecommunication. Same time. In other words, he'll sign math and he'll voice the exact same time for the deaf and hearing people all together. It provided a wonderful feeling of inclusion within the community, rather than just the deaf on the side with the interpreter and then the hearing on the other side. I began to develop a strong desire to learn more about the Catholic faith. So I got my degree from St. Thomas University, Miami Gardens, Florida. And when doing my research, I've been finding that many of the deaf ministries in the United States were shutting them down because they wasn't getting enough deaf people going. In other words, the Catholic Church does not offer enough accessibility for the deaf community. One of the most important things is that the Catholic deaf people do not understand the concept of Jesus. There was this one experience where, while I was in Maple Grove standing, I was complaining to myself, actually to Jesus, and in prayer. And it's like, how can I interpret this if I don't understand what this is about? I'm interpreting word for word. And then after mass, I asked my deaf friend today, do you understand my sign? Oh, yes, I understand your sign just fine. You sign perfect. I say, no. Do you understand what this is saying? What is it talking about? What does it mean? Oh, I understand the sign language, but I don't know what it means. And at the same time, Jesus appeared on the balcony at the church. I'd be standing and signing. After all my complaints and prayers, I fought with that hard. And then Jesus on the balcony, he stood up there. I could see him, not in the physical place. I felt like I was in a different dimension. And he said to me in sign language, it's okay to sign outside the box. He didn't use his voice. He didn't move his lips. He was signing. It took me a few minutes to figure out, and then when I realized, he's saying it's okay to change to the concept that the deaf people can understand. I would say that the spiritual sign language is not just for the deaf themselves. We're looking for inclusion for the community all together as one. Deaf people are crying for help. They're crying in their prayers. They're crying with their heart and their soul. They're not crying with their voice or their hand. In their soul, they're crying. Asking not just for us, but the healing people too. Come and join us, and we join you.